2, 1.
Good morning. What's the funniest thing you've heard today, Austin?
Well, I just want to point out that I am brain cell number 1, and this is...
Brain cell number 2.
And if you don't get that reference, watch the reels. The funniest thing I've heard today...
Yeah.
Honestly, I forget everything that just happened because it was insane. And I don't know if you can see this, but you definitely can't hear this, but I have literal tears dried up on the side of my face from just what happened.
We've been crying for probably the past 10 minutes.
Oh my gosh. This podcast is something else.
Yeah, we have fun.
We definitely have fun here. This is something completely special. Gavin's over here, like, actually debating whether his life is worth living right now.
I'm a brain cell 2.
He is major brain cell 2 energy right here.
Oh my gosh.
Gavin, what is the funniest thing that you've heard today? He's been through a lot.
I've been going through the journey of just processing brain cell 2 vibes and wondering what happened to brain cell 3.
Oh, he's gone forever.
May he or she rest in peace.
Thank you for ungendered
Service.
Thank you for your service, brain cell 3. We wish you well.
Oh man, what is happening today? All right, we're diving into part 2 of this quote series.
Yeah.
With brain cell 1 and 2 and brain cell 4 vibes here today. We're being produced by 4
we got 4 and 5 back there.
Oh yeah, 'cause Devin's producing, and we're being hosted by
Elene Vintage.
Heck yeah.
Also, we're wearing styles from Elene Vintage. So if you like this stuff, check it out. Your listeners, you'll never know what this looks like. That's okay.
That's okay. That's what more or less
use your imagination. Gavin,
watch.
what do you imagine that I'm in right now? If you were only hearing the sound of my voice, what would you think I'm wearing?
I'm having a hard time like detaching you from being a brain cell 1. So all I'm processing is like you're just in like wearing all white in this room.
Okay.
And it's just like brain cell 1.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know. Like if I would like imagine a fit for you.
Yeah.
It would be like one of those like, kind of similar to what the shirt that you're wearing now. It might have a print on it. But it would be a simple print. It wouldn't be something excessive.
Okay.
You'd be unbuttoned.
Okay.
Probably not wearing a shirt underneath. Maybe like not like unbuttoned all the way, but like maybe 1 or 2 down. And then probably like some shorts, nice shorts.
Okay.
And then you'd be wearing probably not the funky socks, but probably like something clean. And then some spiffed up of your loafers.
Oh, I love my loafers.
That's what I would see.
Yeah, everyone's a big fan of the dad loafers. Literally, like Toms that.
The Dofers.
Dofers. What are you trying to say?
Typical brain cell.
Oh, these are
vibes.
Dockers. That was pretty close to Dofers, honestly, but they're Dockers.
I feel
Picked
like
them up at a yard sale.
Brain cell 1.
Probably like $2. Major vibes of brain cell 1.
Vibecast. Shout out season 1.
The Vibecast.
Vibecast.
Welcome to the
But
Vibecast.
we should totally. If you are listening to this and you're like brain cell 1, brain cell 2, and you're like I don't know what's going on, check out reels. Check out whatever that we're gonna be sending out video wise. But also
You're in for a treat.
You're in for a treat. But also, if you're thinking like that would be a super cool like merch line.
Okay. Brain cell 1 and 2.
Maybe that's
It's like
just
thing 1 and thing 2. There it is.
Gotta get into this. All right, so
Moving on.
I feel like this is such a turn emotionally and vibe wise.
Yeah.
This quote that we're about to dive into
Let's dive
after
into
coming
it.
into brain cell 1 and brain cell 2 and
We had a good
the
discussion.
God cell. But things get broken. Sometimes they get repaired. And in most cases, you realize, and let me pull up the good old person so I don't misquote this individual, because that would be
we got to make sure that we get accurate tellings.
So here it is. So ready? Things get broken, sometimes they get repaired, and in most cases you realize that no matter what gets damaged, life rearranges itself to compensate for your loss quite beautifully. That's by Joey.
Joey.
Doesn't have a last
Dude,
name. Just
love Joey. He's probably brain cell 3. Oh, we found him. We found him. Guys, this is why you have to meet us in person sometime, because it's major brain cell 1 and 2 energy right now. And it only gets worse at events. We have the most fun with you guys. So, oh, dude, if people come up to us and say, dude, you're such a brain cell 1, I'd be like, dude, shake my hand. Let's talk.
Oh my gosh, let's sit down and talk about.
Seriously.
Are you brain cell 5?
This is like the Enneagram, but like with brain cells. Okay.
The hierarchy of brain cells. Pyramid schemes. But all right. So this quote, I'm going to repeat it again because I feel like we
just went off. We derailed constantly.
This is what you get with the Silent Podcast. The re-railing. Things get broken and sometimes they get repaired. And in most cases, you realize that no matter what gets damaged, life rearranges itself to compensate for your loss quite beautifully. So I think this is perfect, especially for what we're going through right now. It's just laughter fit, and we're going through it. We're chugging through it.
We're really chugging through it right now. Chug, choo, choo. Guys, it's 8:30 at night. Help us. This is what's happening. You're watching this at 9 a.m. You're straight out of bed. You're straight out of bed. You got your morning coffee. You're not ready for what's happening right now. Neither are we. It's so bad. What is happening? You thought that we would be super normal, but we made it 4 episodes in, and now here we are. Is this episode gonna air? No one knows.
Is it though? I'm quite curious because I feel like we need to, because I feel like we should just completely regard this quote.
Okay, what do you want to talk about?
Regard it, remove it. We're gonna brain cell 2 vibes.
Dude, okay, we're just having a good time this episode. This book means nothing. I'm not gonna throw it because this is actually a nice book.
I paid like $15 for that book.
Okay, that's why I didn't throw it.
Talk about just enjoying the process.
True.
All right, our producer says, what is it to have fun? What is it to throw out the rule book? That's a really good topic, actually. We went completely off the books, and honestly, we don't even like script. We don't script at all.
No.
We literally have topics and maybe like 1 or 2 touch points along the way, and finding our way through that is, whatever it takes.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, what does that look like in a creative journey to go off the rule book?
I think it's a good point to make, because I think, as what we've talked about before, is you're wanting to embrace and be authentic within your own creative field. And so going off the rule book almost seems like it's defacing your authenticity. Because you're like, oh my gosh, like I'm going off the rails here. I don't know how people are going to react. I don't know what's going to come from it. And then you might worry and stress and have that fear of like, can I ever come back? Because
Right.
like if you go into that unknown of derailing or going into like something that's completely out of your comfort zone, as a creative, it might be like a whole new world for you. And so I think if we go off the rule book sometimes and we embrace things that we may have never done before, I think it's good. I mean, like literally, if you know us, Austin and I think we're very composed when we're out doing events. And we're very kind of just like, this is who we are, this is what we're about. And it kind of portrays like that's what Silo is, so that's who we become. But in this episode, you've seen that like we're human beings that love to laugh.
Yeah.
And love to talk about things and talk about the most random inside jokes like brain cells. I mean, like, to anybody else listening to us, like, why are they laughing about brain cells?
Yeah.
Like, why is that so funny? But to us, like, you might, if you're not seeing this back or you're not watching it and you're just listening solely, you didn't see that Austin was crying because he was laughing so much, or just how we were in that 10-minute time of just like, oh my gosh, like, we can't get back because we've derailed so much. And so there's always that flip side of things. It's like, you got to watch yourself, but also enjoy that derailment.
Yeah, I think, especially for me, I feel like I'm like the planner and more like serious person of the two of us. At least when it comes to events, like I'm like, okay, let's have a schedule of what's happening. Especially at Cultivate, I like had it down every 15 minutes. I had assignments of people and all that stuff, and that's not me being like trying to control. That is literally me trying to plan everything and function and have it function correctly. And it's weird because like we just had that totally off the cuff moment, and I'm usually the one that's okay guys, we have until this time, we need to get this done, let's get figured out, like production mindset kind of deal. And I totally take you as a person that's just like, yo, we need to not worry about time in like the best way possible. Like, yo, let's just have fun with it. Like we talked about last episode, like don't worry about timing and deadlines and all that stuff. And I know I'm very guilty of that a lot of the time. And that's why we balance out so well, is because you're just like, yo man, like just chill. Let's just do it.
Yeah. And I think it's also brings up, I think, a point in the past episodes, like yin and yang. It's like, it's hard to find people that match your energy, but it's also hard to find people that necessarily are very different than you and match your energy at the same time. And so it's being able to find that and have those moments with those people and enjoy it. It's not just yourself that sometimes will go off the rails and have a laugh and do something. I mean, like if you're an artist and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna do music now. I mean, that's like you're not just confined to one thing creatively, but you're also not like we're all human. We live our lives wanting and curious about different things, but things will come up that like, okay, we're gonna laugh for 10 minutes.
And it's gonna happen. It's just gonna happen.
And we didn't plan it. We didn't schedule it out. But we were laughing, looking over at Devin, and Devin's like, you guys have been laughing for like 10 minutes. And we didn't even recognize it because we were enjoying that moment. And like after this podcast and after this next season comes up, we will forever remember that on this day, on this time that we recorded it, we had that laugh, we had that moment. And like that is such an important thing.
It's better than any of the podcasts.
Oh my gosh,
like,
yeah.
We could throw out 1 through 4 or 5 here, and that would be the most important thing we've done. Exactly.
It's because I think when the thing with podcasts is like you just listen to people talk, and there's that education. Like they are knowing way more than I know, so we're coming to learn. But then there's that lackability of just like, okay, I don't know who they are as a person. I don't know how they laugh, what makes them laugh, what maybe makes them upset about certain things. So I don't understand that perspective or that lens. And like having something like this for us was like amazing, because we're like, man, like it grew us closer as a group. It grew us closer, I think, for the listeners that are listening to this, and for those that will probably watch the reel or whatever we make of that moment. I mean, it's just, at the end of the day, it's embracing that off-the-cuff moment can be probably one of the biggest things in your life, regardless if it's something you embrace further down the line or if it's something you're like, oh man, that was just like so much fun.
Just be authentic. I mean, first season we talked about it. This is who we are. We're on display. You like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. I mean, be unapologetically yourself is kind of something that I would say we learned today. If it happens during a podcast, it did, and that's what we get from it.
Sometimes you just gotta make out of where the derail takes you.
Yeah, you just gotta go with it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yo, we need to get this man a mic. He's speaking
Quality
bars.
Insights by Devin. That's his little bit. He gets 30 seconds. We hand him the mic and we go, Devin, speak. And you go.
For those listening to this,
go.
The set, it's crazy because we were talking about like yin and yang and different like mindsets. Like Austin, he has one that he has set up. It's like a mic stand. He can like use his hands. I literally just hold one. And I just like vibe. A lot of times before we were here at Emily,
Vibecast.
I would literally just like lay back and like just like lay on the couch with my mic. And
Yeah.
that's what it was.
Yeah.
And it's that difference. And so like having that freedom, and we're hoping as we will record in the future, it's like we're going to get Devin a mic so then he can join this and vibe in this and be like, yo, Austin, be quiet. Or yo, Gavin, like you need to be more human this time or something like that, because
I don't know what you mean.
yes. So those that may not have heard it, but Devin just said that he's the line in the middle between the yin and the yang, and
He will sit on this table, crisscross applesauce. He will.
he is the one that separates us but keeps us together at the same time.
And on that note, catch you next week.
Embrace your inner brain cell 3.
Take it easy, guys. We love you. This is a fun one to do. I hope you had a laugh there at the beginning
And at the end.
and at the end. And have a good week. Double peace.